I want to tell you today the things that you must avoid if you wouldn't want your kidney to have issues. Certain medications that are still good for the system, but the adverse is destruction of the kidney. Those medications, everyone take it, they are good, but it's doing more harm than good in your system. So I want to tell you those medications that you avoid them so that your kidney will remain ever normal. One of those medications is antibiotics. You know, antibiotics is very good for the system. It helps in remove clearance of pathogens, that's in bacterial infections, so that your infection doesn't kill you. But you know these antibiotics, when you do them on a higher grammages, when you take overdosage of these antibiotics, or when you take them for a very long time, they have a very strong effect on your kidneys. Do you know what it does to your kidney? It results to nephrotoxicity. And this time is just a time to describe accumulation of toxins in the kidney that results to the damage or injury of kidneys. An example of a medication, an antibiotic that does this harm to your kidney is aminoglycoside. Aminoglycoside are just antibiotics, a group of antibiotics that inhibit protein synthesis. That is, they prevent bacteria from growing and solidifying their cell wall. And that is how they wipe out such pathogen called bacteria. You know, an example of such medication is gentamicin, neomycin, tobramycin, amikacin. All those medications that end by mycin, they belong to aminoglycoside. They are good. They are very important in clearance of bacterial infection. But if you take them on higher doses or you take them for a very long time, they will damage your kidneys. They damage your kidneys when they result to accumulation of toxins in the kidney. And when the kidney tries to remove those toxins away from the kidney out of the body system via urination, the toxins stick to the cells called glomeruli. And this glomeruli is a major cell, the major functional cell of the kidney that help in the performance of the functions of the kidney. You know, kidney does a whole lot of functions. It helps to regulate your blood pressure. It helps in the production of certain hormones. It even helps in the production of blood. Yes, it produces a hormone that facilitates the production of blood. That's number one. Number two, they block the pipeway through which toxins, the pipeway through which urine passes out from the kidney out of the body system. It could be the urethra, it could be the ureter, it could be in the bladder. That tube that carries urine from the bladder, from the kidney, out to the external environment, they form a crystal, a complex that blocks the pipeway, causing a reflux of urine going back to the kidney. I know urine is a constellation of bacteria and a whole lot of poison. When it gets back to the kidney, it damages everything there and you start having issues with your kidneys. So antibiotics must be taken, but you must be very conscious of the dosage you take. Know who is giving you antibiotics and know the right grammage the person is giving you. Please, if you must do antibiotics, don't do it for a very long time so that it doesn't damage your kidneys. Number two, medications you must not take on high doses is diuretics and medications that help to remove excess minerals, excess salt, and excess fluid from the system. And those diuretics, example of those diuretics are, we have loop diuretics, example, furosemide, toxamide. We have thiazide diuretics. Example of these thiazide diuretics are clothalidone, chlorothiazide, hydrochlorothiazide, and indapamide. These medications are called thiazide diuretics, called potassium-sparing diuretics. These diuretics remove excess salt but conserves potassium, because by the time you lose a whole lot of potassium from your system, it can result to fitting and dysfunction of certain organs like the heart. So instead of removing the whole minerals, it will remove the salt which is causing you BP and conserve the potassium. And what's an example of this diuretic, potassium-sparing diuretic, is spironolactone, amiloride. In as much as these medications are good for the system, but it must not be done on high doses or for a very long time. So be careful of the medications you take and how long you take them. The number three medications you should be careful with while taking it is NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. These drugs are very good in the system. They help to take care of pains, alleviate pains of all origin. But when you take them on high doses or take them for a long time, it destroys so many things. One, it reduces the production of prostaglandin. And this prostaglandin is one of the substances that helps in vasodilation, opening up of the blood vessels so the high blood pressure will come down. So by the time this substance, prostaglandin, is drastically reduced in production, it means that the vasodilation effect that you used to have will now be altered. What you now get is vasoconstriction, meaning that your blood vessel constricts or compress, shooting up your blood pressure. And blood pressure is a dangerous factor that results to disease or impairment of the kidneys. So if you must take NSAID, examples of NSAID are diclofenac, ibuprofen, naproxen, piroxicam, meloxicam, all of these things are NSAID. So if you must take any of these things, be careful. You don't take it on high doses or take it for a very long time, because it has a tendency of damaging your kidneys. We have proton pump inhibitors are medications that are also medications that reduce the production of hydrochloric acid in the stomach. An example of these proton pump inhibitors are omeprazole, lansoprazole, pantoprazole, esomeprazole, rabeprazole. All of those things ending in prazole are called proton pump inhibitors. They reduce the production of stomach acid. They are very good, but if you do them on high doses or take them for a very long time, they will impair the functions of the kidneys. Supplements are good. They augment the levels of certain minerals, they augment the levels of certain nutrients in the system. But there are certain ingredients, active ingredients, that if you see them in supplements, be very careful how you take them. And those ingredients are L-lysine, germanium, creatine monohydrate, and chromium. These active ingredients I just said now must not be done on high grammage, on high dosages. And if you don't do it for a very long time, if you do, the impact on your kidneys will be disastrous. So be very conscious whenever you are taking it. Be very cautious whenever you are taking it, so that you don't do overdosage of those medications and prolong the usage of this active ingredient. The last but not the least, I would like you to note or be careful while taking is laxative. Laxative are medications that help to soften stool or help in evacuation of stool or increase intestinal motility. Any medication that help to loosen stool and avert constipation is called a laxative. And some of these laxatives have certain active ingredients that can also affect the functions of the kidney, that can also destroy the cells of the kidney. Some of them have sodium phosphate, and this active ingredient, sodium phosphate, on high doses or on prolonged usage, have a disastrous effect on the kidney. So if you are taking any laxative and you notice that laxative has sodium phosphate, you could be cautious on the gram you take, and be conscious of the length of time you are doing that laxative, so that it doesn't have a negative impact on your kidneys. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification button, so that whenever I do a new video, you receive a notification that I've done a new video. I love you so much.